called notion of investing. Firms with low book to price and low PE stocks, there's the return there, 4.3 on average. Those for high earnings to price and high book to price, there's the return here. You can see the firms' returns graduated here across these portfolios. Now, these are very large differences. 30% versus 4.3% as an average return is a heck of a difference, okay? Now, of course, we have to think about the risk of these portfolios, okay? And this is really the issue in hand. This has fascinated people in research, okay? Why do you have these differences? It's not explained by beta. It's not explained by the capital asset pricing model, okay? People have introduced the notion, particularly that book to price is a risk measure. If I started doing this, of course, every year, this, of course, is very simple investing, right? Your 8-year-old can do it. Get the price off Yahoo Finance, get the earnings and the book values, okay? Divide into other. You can actually perform this. It's not a lot of analysis. It's very simple. How can you have such good returns to very simple investment strategy? So this is the question. Well, what could be wrong here? Well, there's two things could be wrong. First of all, you have to worry about. First of all, with only using 2 bits of information, earnings and book value, you're in danger of running into someone who's using more information, someone who's done their homework. Mm-hmm. And secondly, you're really in danger of actually maybe picking up risk. It may be the firm with a low earnings to price with a high earnings to price and a high book to price is a very risky company, okay? And these are just payoffs for risk. And so that's what this research investigates. Is in fact these are payoffs to risk. Now people have developed asset pricing models which said book to price is related to risk, okay? Because it's related to distress, it's related to liquidity and all sorts of other things. What we've done in our work is to ask, is there anything that has to do with the accounting which would indicate that when you're actually buying a high book earnings to price and a high book to price, that you are actually picking up risk, okay? By the way, just note one thing. People will try to sell you on investments by giving you their historical returns, okay? The mutual funds that advertise are always the ones that have done well in the last few years, okay? But people will actually give you the history of over a long period of time of this back testing, and it's usually on US very often US data. One thing we've got to remember that the last 50 years, this period here, is a very successful time in US history, okay? With corporations doing very well, a very successful stock market, and you would expect that in a very successful time, you would have done very well if you held risky investments, okay? Because risk paid off. So the question is whether these ones down here, even though they looked like so much bigger return, these paid off because it was just a period in which risk paid off very well. And if we run into a period where risk does not pay off well, like 2008, things might go in a very different direction. Okay? So the point before us as an accountant, I look at this and say, hey, hold it. These ratios, earnings to price and book to price, have accounting numbers in them, earnings and book values. Mm-hmm. Given price is strictly correct to say earnings to price and book to price are accounting phenomena. Mm-hmm. And so, if these have anything to do with risk, it must be the way we do our accounting. It picks it up. Or, for some reason, the accountants are just doing crazy things, and for some reason, these numbers get correlated over this period with what matters for risk. Okay, but let's think about the notion. These are accounting phenomena. So, if in fact these have to do with risk, well, there may be accounting explanation for this phenomenon. Do these ratios pick up risk because the way the accounting is done? And there are a few insights. if you understand the accounting. First of all, understand that earnings to price, of course, is a yield. So just as you expect higher risky bonds to have a higher yield, now it's a bond yield, but of course a bond yield can always be converted to an earnings yield by the effective interest method. Do you know that one? Okay, in your accounting 101. The bond yields are expected to bond yields or earnings yields for bonds are related to returns. That may be also the case for equities, okay? So we take that into notion that yes, if you've got more earnings, more risky